Nemesis games. Not gonna lie, this one was rough. So same as always, spoiler-free review, but we're on book 5 now, so maybe spoilers for books 1 through 4. Maybe. So just be prepared. But for as far as book 5 is concerned, there will not be any spoilers. And get this right out of the way, right up top. As always, if you've seen any of the other ones, consistency and pacing. Once again, I'm just going to keep giving credit where credit is due, because here we go, book 5, and they still nailed it. I don't know who's in charge of this, but they're doing a really, really good job of it. I continue to be very impressed. Now, as far as being impressed goes, that's about where it stops. Remember all that stuff I said about character and, you know, it's not a priority, and the crew, the Rocinante, is terrible and, well, not boring and uninteresting, and they don't have characters, they don't flesh them out. You know, Alex, I referred to him as insert generic character here, because these people just didn't have characters. I mean, he kind of was Bluegrass, let's be honest. But other than him being Bluegrass, he didn't have a character. And the rest of them were super generic, never bothered to flesh him out. Well, here we are in book 5, and we're going to fix all that. We're going to give these people characters for their character. We're going to give these characters character for the first time in the series. And here we are at book 5. So, what are we going to, once again, we have 4 points of view. But instead of dumping our characters and then having a whole new fresh round of nobodies, which is what we've done up until this point, now our 4 points of view are the 4 crew members. And they each get a point of view, and we're going to rotate through them now. And this is our means to flesh them out as characters. Unfortunately, it's too little too late for me. Maybe for you it was like, oh, now it's a nice breather and this is what I've been waiting for, or drawing it out created a specific amount of expectation and suspense, I guess is what I'm looking for. You know, drawing it out created suspense, and now we're going to finally get that release of tension. Great. For me, it was too little too late. And it's going to be like, you know, the Rocinante's all beat up from the end of last book, which is, yes, that's true. Basically, it needs to be gutted and overhauled from the ground up. It's just demolished. So they're basically going to rebuild the damn thing, which is fine. And it's going to be out of commission for enough months that everybody's just going to kind of disperse. And, oh, well, somebody from my past has contacted me, and I think I'll just go back to Earth, and I think I'll go back to Mars, and I think I'll hang out here, what the hell, you know, and they all just kind of disperse. So it simultaneously feels like too little too late, and it feels like when you watch an anime and they run out of manga, and then the anime just makes like a 15-episode filler arc while they wait for the manga to catch up, so then they have some more content to reproduce, and then they can continue their story. But in the meantime, they're just going to kind of flounder around and spin their wheels and wait for the actual author to figure it out for them. That's what this feels like. And I don't mean that in a nice way. That feels like I mean, this is where the book's almost lost me. This book was a chore. I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad, but I could totally see somebody getting here and going, nah, I'm good. You know, like, which is totally crazy because there's going to be some events, one in particular, that's going to happen in this book, and it is next level big. And it's not like the other events that I keep talking about where it's like, oh, those were the stakes for this book and now they're gone. Oh, those were the stakes for this book and now they're gone. No, there's an event that's going to happen in this book that is so big and just so all-encompassing that there is no going away for this one. This one's going to have consequences, and it's going to be far-reaching. So how can you have a book with an event that, for lack of a better word, that earth-shattering, and have the book itself feel like pointless filler? Because the book itself was pointless filler. That was pretty much the only thing that mattered. And everything around it was, and when that starts happening, that's fun, that's exciting. But there's a point where they get these people into specific situations and locations, and you're like, I don't buy it for a second. Amos's story goes from pointless filler to the most plot convenient location on so many levels. He's in the most plot convenient location because this is kind of where the event's going to happen. Oh, and there's another character here that we might want to grab at who I did, which I don't agree with bringing that person back, but because I didn't like him in the first place, and now they're like, oh, aren't we friends? Are we though? Were we ever? Should we be? Was that ever developed in any way, shape, or form? And we're going to act like we're the closest people that have ever been close because I decided that I wanted it to be that way, instead of actually writing situations and circumstances that would make it so. It's like a YA novel where Harry meets Jennifer and they come into contact and they've literally known each other for less than 30 minutes and it's true love and it will stay that way for the rest of the YA. Don't even try and break them up. Did we explain it? No. Is there a reason for it? Of course not. Is there chemistry? No. But that's what we have going on here. That's how this relationship is. It's that hollow. Anyway. Okay, so there's enough of the mystery to keep me invested, but the problem with that is they keep peppering the mystery, but it's like I said last time with the overall narrative, which is kind of like your mystery. They pepper in a bit of mystery every 400 pages and then give you 400 pages of soap opera while not giving enough of the mystery and the fun stuff. It's not enough mystery and too much soap opera. And not like space opera, soap opera. Anyway, I always kind of brag about that big blockbuster feeling, and that is still here. So just like the consistency and the pacing, that blockbuster vibe, they have a way of writing that I will commend. I really will. And that's still good, and that's still on point. So, and that's kind of the driving force here, is the consistency, the pacing, and that vibe of it just really feels like you're watching something like a big budget TV show or movie. And that's really what's keeping the train on the tracks. And everything else is just kind of, and I complain about character, and even when they give you a book devoted to character, it misses the mark so badly that I am just upset by it, and I'm going to give it the lowest rating that I've given any one of these books yet, and I'm going to give it a 5. And now before you think that that's actually a bad score, it really isn't. As far as I'm concerned, just like the other 5 I've given on the channel here, I consider 5 to be the most average that ever was average, I think is how I worded it. But It is. It's just perfectly average. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a 5, which is not good for this series, considering that we're just, you know, everything's been on the positive end. Even if it's only a little bit, it's always been into the positives. This is the first one that's just right down the middle of the road average. But it is. And I don't want to waste too much time on this book. I wasted enough time on this book when I read it. 5.